Good evening, party people. Hey guys, we're going to be getting started in about 2 minutes. Send out any last minute text. You guys are in for a treat tonight. We're going to be sharing lots of goods. You're going to want to make sure all your team is on here. So send out any last minute text. Remind everybody that we have our Monday night team call starting in 2 minutes. Okay. So guys, we just had an amazing weekend, and it's just a testament of what this business is really all about. Let me mute everyone. I know we have a lot of background noise. Oh, so with that, guys, I was able to, my wife and my daughter, we were able to stay at Ricky Durant's house with not only Ricky and Jessica, who were incredible hosts, but we also had Mark and Judy there. And the only unfortunate thing is that it was a very short weekend. We got there on Friday and then left on Sunday. So it would have been better if we could have spent more time together. But, the amazing thing about this business is relationships. It's about building the relationships with the people. And, we say this over and over and over again, and because it really is the most important thing. People don't quit family, but they will quit a business. It's easy to quit on a business, but you're not going to quit on a family. And the beautiful part about what we're doing is the relationships that we build. And guys, we were a part of Ian Prather and Betsy Prather's wedding. And, being able to not only be there, but actually be in the wedding was really an amazing experience. And to just see the love within the team and the love within all the people of this culture and this community it's just been so amazing for us. And to think a little bit over a year ago, not only Ian, but myself, we were both very, very financially troubled. We weren't in the most empowered state financially. And to look at where we are a year later and to have the freedom that we have now has just been so incredible. And then this weekend we'll be home. Next weekend there'll be a bunch of us that will be at Colt Summer's wedding with him and his beautiful fiance. So guys, it's just been so incredible to be able to experience this, to be able to build all the relationships and have all these incredible friends that we now have because of something that we're actually getting paid to do. That we get paid to build relationships with people. I just jumped on live with one of my very, very close friends, one of my best friends, over the last 17 years, and we built a relationship from this business. And every week, I'm talking to many different leaders that I've become friends with, that I've worked with over the years. And it's incredible the relationships that you create through this and the growth that you experience through this process. And Ricky and I just jumped on the phone with a good friend of mine, Bob, and after we jumped on his live, and we wanted to have him share a little bit about, what he had shared on this live, kind of talking about how to pick a company and why he picked a certain company, which happens to be this one. So with that, Bob, are you out there?
I'm here. I had to unmute. I'm here, buddy.
All right. So you talked about a lot of things on that live. But guys, to give you an idea, Ricky and I had decided to do this together, 13 months ago or something like that. And we basically, as we were creating the culture, like literally as we were talking about what we were going to do, before we actually launched, Bob drove over to Dallas with me. And he went over there, and just for whatever reason, the timing wasn't right for him at that time. And then, he went to another company that he did extremely well. He made a six-figure income with that company, but people over here were doing far better, far quicker. But I would say the biggest thing about it was he made a six-figure income, but his team didn't. And when he was looking at it, leaders are going to win in any company. Like, you could take Ricky Durant out of this company and go throw him into, excuse the verbiage, but a turd of a company. And Ricky Durant is going to win no matter where he goes, because that's just Ricky Durant, and he's a machine. Bob's one of those kind of people too, and has won at every company that he's been at. But and the thing is that the most important thing is you want to have a company where your people can win. And the reason why Ricky left the company that he was in, when he was still making an incredible income, to come here, was because his team wasn't winning. The reason why Bob left where he just was because, again, sick and tired of watching his team not win, even though he's winning. So, Bob, if you would kind of share, your experience of the last few months, along with the last, few years, just kind of what you've been able to experience and what you've seen here just recently.
I appreciate you, Chris. It's good to be back. It's good to be on fire again. And I just got to tell you, it would take way too long, and it would be way too grueling for everyone listening to go through what I went through over the last 3 months, let alone the last 7 or 8 years. But I can tell you guys this. So what really, really excites me where I'm at is these last couple of months. Many of you are brand new and are in the perfect position because 99% of the hurdles of a startup company are over. And I have been involved in companies like that 3 or 4 times. I promised a dream, promised all this stuff from owners. And so that's why I didn't join Chris 2 years ago or a year and a half ago. I just didn't want to go through it again, and I knew it was going to happen. And then it happened sort of again, like the last kind of big hurdle had not overcome yet when I decided to run with Chris back in November, just this past November. So a year ago, I said, no, I'm going to go somewhere stable, whatever. I lost my mind for a moment. Then this past November, I engaged. And we got people fired up, and people were loving Dose. And I was shocked, actually, that we didn't really do a lot and the amount of volume that happened just in the very first month. And then some hiccups happened, and it got to my head. And I went and took a seat up in the bleachers, and I just watched. And I have to tell you, those of you that have been here since then, November, I've been watching. It's always been me watching, and you guys are very, very, very inspiring. And there's a few reasons why, but if I could get any message across to all of you guys listening tonight, regardless of what I do or the team that we put together does, regardless of any of that, the last 2.5 months, I have probably looked very deeply at 7 different opportunities. And I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed, but I know what I'm looking for when I look at companies typically. And a lot of them look good. I even joined a couple and kind of felt it out. Okay, this is just in the last 2 months. And there's always things that look good on the surface. And that's what I really want you guys to take away from any type of training tonight. There's always going to be a shiny object. Always. Here's what I'm going to tell you. What you have your hands on, we all have our hands on here at Elevosity, is number one, a culture of people that do not want to let each other down. And that is highly unusual. Now, you might get pockets of teams, right, that are that way, but you have the entire company or the structure of the leadership. Just ask yourself this. In the last few companies you've been in, did you talk to the top person on a regular basis, or did you have that access? And most of the time, it's no. And here, we are so early. Listen, right now is as good, if not better time than any to join Elevosity. So those of you that have been here or you've established, you're here, you're going to build this, you better start talking to everyone you know, because the next 6 to 12 months, right now it's to the point where you can ask somebody and still, unless they're a Facebook person or they just sit and live online, most people you talk to offline, which is another great topic that you guys, I've heard Chris cover before, is we don't connect to people anymore. This freaking stupid phone and Facebook, we don't even talk to people anymore. And that's why people don't build this relationship. But this relationship that you guys have right here and where we all sit over the next 6 to 12 months, we have to take advantage of it. And I'm telling you, there is not a team, or I should say a company, because you go all the way from Mark and Judy down. That's everybody, you guys. And every single one of you have access to talk to any of those people, to get some mentorship, to ask, maybe share what you're doing right or wrong, and they're going to steer you and help you in the right direction. The second thing that I love about this, Chris, I'm not going to go on too much longer, but this is, companies out there have, okay, so I looked at other nutritional companies. I looked at other companies that had a coffee. I looked at companies that claimed to have their thing or whatever, but there's no message. They're a health and wellness company. We have some products that help with sleep and help you lose weight, and you can sell them to your friends and family and recruit, typical. But maybe the comp plan was just, that's where they shined on. But the rest of it was nothing. What I love about here, and that was just one example. That's most companies, by the way. Oh, we have a product, here it is. It does these benefits. But what you have to recognize here is that you should be, if you're not, you should just be promoting the fact that we elevate people's life through happiness, and in every area of your life. And if you don't really understand the concept that people think that if they're more successful, they'll be happier, that's backwards. And understand that's backwards, that when you find the internal happiness, success will just happen to you. It will start to attract. That's when the law of attraction will come in. And man, when I saw that with Elevosity, I saw that message, and I always forget the author's name who was part of Elevosity in the beginning, maybe still is. Chris, do you remember his name?
Don Acorn.
Yeah. When I started studying him and really started to look at happiness, and then you look at all the things around you in your life and around you, and you can pretty much gauge the happiest people you know are pretty successful. And that is what you have to understand about what we have at Elevosity, is we're promoting a message of the pursuit of happiness, not just some products. And that's big. That's easy to talk to people about. So, Chris and them have come up with the perfect way to pitch this. Hey, do you drink coffee or know anybody that does? If you heard of the Happy Coffee, oh my God, you got to check this out. Send the funnel system link and follow up and use a 3-way call if you need to. That's it. When you have culture, message, and system all in play, it's lights out. And gang, you don't have companies with 60,000 customers, a 10-to-1 ratio of customers, distributors. It doesn't happen. And so all I can say is I've looked at it all. You're in the right place. Sometimes life takes you on detours and you have to look at things to figure out where you're next. I've been through some things probably more than others, and I just needed to make sure. And I'm telling you, we're in a good, safe place with a simple message. And Chris, I'm glad my head's back in the game with you, brother. We're going to go have some fun.
Awesome. Ricky, did you have any questions? I know you had heard some things Bob said, and you said, Bob, talk about that. What questions did you have, Ricky?
No, I mean, I just watched Bob's whole Facebook Live, and it really inspired me because, we get busy, dealing with, everyday stuff, within the team and our families and stuff. And just watching his Facebook Live and understanding what we all built here together, I mean, it's been incredible. And, whenever I'm getting on the phone with a new person or somebody looking at the business now, it's like, yes, you have shiny objects like Bob was talking about. But guys, at the end of the day, we built a family here. That's what kept this whole thing together through everything that we've been through. And we're just getting started. We're a 14-month-old baby company. And for Bob to, kind of come in November, and then all of a sudden, he got stuck in the challenges and stuff like that. And he goes, well, went and looked at everything else out there. And the guy's been in the industry as long as Chris has almost. And for him to come on tonight and share that with us, guys, look, we're going to have problems no matter which company you're with. It's how we act towards the problems and how we lead our people through the problems to get through those problems, So, no, Bob, I'm super excited that you're back in, and, you got my all support. Although I don't make a penny off of you, I don't care. I want to see you win in a big way. So I'm super excited that you're back in and about to go build this thing in a big way. So you got my support here, and
That's awesome.
Welcome back, dude.
Thank you, dude. And I got to tell you guys, that what he said, I don't know, some of you may have missed that. Some of you might have grabbed that. But, I mean, I leaned on Ricky a good bit in the very beginning, getting his take, because Chris and I are such close friends. I wanted almost a third-party validation. And Ricky doesn't make one penny off me. And he's taken lots of time, and he's taken my calls. He's called me back. And so that's what I was getting at with, the real sense of servant-driven leadership that's here in this group to see everybody win. I appreciate you too, Ricky. And Chris, the last thing I'd say to anybody, this is a training night, and I know a lot of people get on and go, especially new people, sometimes they get on, they're expecting to get trained up on how to go make money. And that is why we're all here. We get that. But the best part is that it compounds and grows and grows and grows because of the family and the friendships and the relationships. And if I could give you any advice on the making money part, and it really is going to sound so simple, but I'm telling you, every single one of you can do exactly this week. You could do it this week. All you have to do is ask if somebody drinks coffee and if they've heard of Happy Coffee, and get their permission to send them a link. That is the business, you guys. That is network marketing in the modern age of technology. The tools will do the selling for you. And the only thing you should ever be talking about, if you're talking at all, is telling a story that you've had, your experience on the product, or a friend, or your upline, or somebody you saw here. Stories only. Do not get into the company and the facts and the ingredients and the blah. I'm telling you, it is as simple as the coffee. Have you heard of Happy Coffee? Send a link. And if you do that 300, 400, 500 times, well, Bob, I don't know 500 people. Here's the thing. You have you have 1 billion people at your fingertips on Facebook. And if you literally use Facebook as a genuine tool to meet people and build a friendship list of 100, 200, 300, I would rather have 500 engaged friends on Facebook than 5,000 acquaintances that are all trying to get me in their deal. right? It's about the relationship. So you should never run out of the people to call or text or ask about your business. So you start a new friendship with someone on Facebook, and 3 weeks later, you've commented a lot. They're liking your stuff. You went back and forth on a few things on Facebook, Messenger, whatever. And then you can say, hey, by the way, I know this is going to sound crazy, but do you drink coffee? And boom, you're right into it, and you can then send them the link. But the idea that I'm trying to get to you guys, if you were to do that little 3-step process 300, 400, 500 times, it's the law of numbers that will play in your favor. You only need 15, 20 people to get it, see the vision, and go knock it out of the park, and you will be a 6-figure earner. It is as simple as that. But here's the problem, Chris, Ricky, I don't know why, and you guys and all the leadership that's here and around can come together and figure out why. It's the baffling question I've had my 9 years full time is, why don't the majority do that rather than the minority? There's always about 5% of the entire team who get it and do it, and they're the ones walking on stage, and the same people that have been there for a year keep seeing new people walk across the stage, and they keep saying to themselves, why isn't it me? And it's only because, listen closely, you guys, it is only because you don't expose enough people. That's it. And if you do it and do it right through the system, you will be the next person to walk across the stage. So, Chris, if we can crack the code to get everybody to realize that, there'll be 1 million people in this team.
And why don't they talk to enough people? Because of the story they tell themselves and the questions that they ask. Because you just heard Bob go, well, why isn't it me? Well, it's because you asked a disempowered question. The quality of your life depends on the quality of questions you ask. And when you ask disempowering questions, you get disempowering answers. Your subconscious mind doesn't know what's real and what's not real. It only knows what your filter has allowed it in, right? So like we have this thermostat, just like you have a thermostat on the air conditioning in your house that clicks on whenever the temperature either gets too hot or too cold. Well, we have a psychological thermostat as well. It's called the psychocybernetic mechanism. And I'm not going to go into that because that sounds crazy. I just call it the thermostat because it's easy to talk about. But that's what it is. It's a true thing that happens that we've said. And the questions that we ask ourselves is going to depend on the quality of your life, because many times we're asking ourselves disempowered questions. So how do we get to the next level? You start asking empowering questions like, how do I get to the next level? How do I get myself on that stage? How do I whatever? And then guess what? Your subconscious mind's going to start giving you those answers. Like, start doing the numbers like Bob just talked about. And why don't we do the numbers? Because when you ask a disempowered question, then your subconscious mind tells you, well, because you're not good enough, because you're not good at sales, because you're not good at this, because you're not good at that. Because you asked a disempowered question, you're going to get a disempowered answer. So I was talking to my brother today who has a lawn care and landscape business, which it's funny, while Robin and Melissa were here, they were basically talking to him. Well, today when I was talking to him, he's like, I've really been thinking about wanting to join your business. He goes, yeah. But the thing is that, I've tried that before and it didn't work. And I said, Eric, you tried marriage before and it didn't work, but that doesn't mean you're not married a second time. The bottom line is we've all tried things in the past that might not have worked. Some of us might have tried a certain food or got food poisoning. Did we quit eating? You didn't marry the first person that you dated. We all tried things in the past, but the bottom line is it doesn't mean that we quit trying. So the thing is I just asked him certain questions, and then we came to the conclusion that, you know what, I think this is something that I can do. So we're going to be talking about getting him started and how to get this thing rolling. Now, guys, he doesn't have to do anything else. The guy makes a whole lot of money. He's bought real estate, rental houses and stuff like that, paid cash and all that. But what he realizes in his traditional business, there's way more stresses than what we have to deal with here. Do we have to deal with some people? Do we have to deal with some shipping? Do we have to deal with challenges? Yes, that's called life. And life always has challenges. You know, I have Ann going, I did marry the first person I dated. Thanks a lot, Ann.
There's always an exception to every rule.
So, but the bottom line is, guys, is that, you know, you have to keep trying and trying and trying and trying and trying until you win. The thing I was listening to, and guys, we all tell ourselves stories. And as we do personal development, our excuses get more advanced. So I'm going to tell you, I recommend that you do personal development. Can you have some success without it? Yes. But you can only make as much money as you are in life, right? Because your thermostat will bring you right back down to whatever level that you're at. For instance, someone that wins the lottery is not a millionaire. They have $1 million. And do you know that most lottery winners end up broke? It's because they had $1 million or even millions and millions of dollars, but they did not have a millionaire mindset. So yes, you want to become more, right? But what I want to share with you, as you do personal development, the excuses also get more advanced. And I was riding on the way to go to Ian's wedding, and I was listening to Orrin Woodward launching the Leadership Revolution, and I was listening to the different things, and there's a sense of certain things that I've told myself are reality to me, and I've told myself a certain story, and that I believe that story to a certain degree. And I'm saying a certain degree to let myself off the hook a little bit, right? But the bottom line is I believe my own story. And as I was listening to it, and I heard a perspective of what he was talking about on where it allowed me to shift the script and basically change the story and realize that the crap I've been telling myself is a story. And then, you know, last week, Ricky asked me to jump on a call real quick. You know, at the end of a call, he says, hey, can you jump on this call real quick? And he got me on there just to kind of share what I did affirmation-wise when I got started here. And what it made me realize is that I have to wake up every morning and go to bed every night reading my affirmation again. And I also heard Orrin Woodward talk about, he talked about this. He said the worst thing that can happen to any leader is that when they hit a certain goal, they don't have a bigger one behind it. Because the worst type of success is some success. The worst type of success is, you know, to have a decent win. Because then you think you've made it. You think that you've arrived. And there's not one of us on this call, even though there's people on this call that have roughly six-figure monthly incomes. None of us have made it yet. None of us are there yet. Because this is the reality. Until every single person believes that they can do more than where they are today, we're not where we need to be. And the reality of it is that the only reason why we don't have multiple people making six figures a month is because us as leaders have to step up our game. That we're not where we need to be. There's not one person on this call right now that is where they need to be in their life, even though many of us have done, you know, I have more money saved, and I'm not saying this to brag, than what I used to make in a year. And the crazy thing, and that's making a six-figure income. Never done that in my life. I made a six-figure income, but guess what? I spent over six figures every year. Well, guys, you know, what we realize is that, you know, you haven't made it, and you definitely, it doesn't matter how much money you make. If you can't basically survive for 6 months to a year without working, without making a penny, then you haven't even come close to doing enough. And guys, this is something we want to talk about within the team, because even though we have so many people in this team making amazing incomes, guys, if we're not teaching you all fiscal responsibility and saving your money, because you never know what can happen. You never know what can happen in the economy. You never know what can happen in our country. You never know what can happen in the company. You never know what can happen in any aspect of your life. And if you do not have money saved, and if you're not debt free, then basically you haven't made it, partner. That's all there is to it. And the bottom line is, we were talking about this weekend, and we were talking about, Ricky and I were talking about, like, our goals, our goal set and our mindset is to have our houses totally paid off, like within the next year, to have no debt whatsoever, literally paid off totally. And guys, to be in that position, that's called empowerment. That's called freedom. You think freedom is being able to go and write your name on something because you can finance something? No. Guys, I was in that position. I was making great money, and when I got sick, I watched my income go down the toilet, and I watched my savings go down the toilet, and I watched myself go into $40,000 in credit card debt, thinking that things are going to come back. I'm going to build it back. It's going to it's going to come back. It's going to come back. And guys, once you get in that mindset of stinking thinking, and when you start focusing on what's happening to you, I got to experience that. And it was a good slap in the face to make me realize that, basically, I'm a freaking dummy. I should have done things differently, because I had financed a bunch of stuff, and I was in a position that, I ended up being in that I was not happy about. So I'm sharing this with you guys because it's really been on my heart, because the conversations we had over the weekend really, stuck in my mind that we have to make sure that you guys, as you're making money, you have to be saving a good portion of that every single month. You have to pay yourself first. And what that means is pay your savings first. And then basically you don't have money to spend if you didn't save money. You should only be living on a very small portion of what your bills are, or what your income is, a very small portion. So guys, look, we are going to step up our game. We're going to step up our personal development, so where we can help you step up your personal development, so where we can help you step up your belief system to believe what's possible. Because I believe that every single person on this call is destined for greatness, but you've been conditioned for failure. You've been conditioned to settle for what you have. And if you want to know exactly what you want in life, go look in your checking account, because if you wanted more, you would be doing more. You heard Bob say, how do you win? How does every single leader? More activity. How they win? More activity, more activity, more activity. Why aren't you doing the activity? That's a question you have to ask yourself. Because if you wanted more, you would do more. And it's really that. And it starts with what we think. It's the stinking thinking that has kept us where we are. You have to raise your financial thermostat. You have to basically tell yourself a different story, shift the script, tell yourself you're the leader that people are looking for. It's funny when I told the story the other night on a call, and when Ricky told me that he wanted to join me, it blew my mind, because at the time I was at the lowest point of my life. But guys, for 2 months, morning and evening, I was telling myself, I'm the leader people are looking for. Today, I will attract a person, a group of people that are willing to use their power and influence to help me achieve my dreams. All day long, people go out of their way to bless me. This is the story I was telling myself. I was reading an affirmation, and when I started reading this, I did not believe it. But when Ricky said, I'm joining you, bro, it made me realize that what I was telling myself was the truth. And I'm telling you guys this because what you tell yourself is the truth. The challenge is that we're telling ourselves the wrong crap. And if you tell yourself that you're a loser, if you tell yourself you're not good enough, guess what? That is the truth to you. You can change that script. You can change the story. You can flip the switch. You can change the thermostat, and you can create the life that you desire. And guys, we are going to step up our game to help you all step up yours. And we are determined, because your success is a reflection on us. If we don't have people better than us, then we're not good leaders. We have to have you guys running past us. We have to have you all basically doing better than what we've done. Because if you take the information we have, add it to the information that you have, and it's I just went off on a freaking tangent, but you add it to what you have, and there's something amazing, guys, and you should be better than us. So with that being said, I'm going to turn it over to whoever wants to share something. But guys, I will close my part out with this. I believe that tonight you can make a decision that tonight is going to be the first day of the rest of your life where you're going to decide that basically you are ready to win, and that you're the winner that you were destined to be, that you're the leader people are looking for. And I challenge you to write something. If you want my affirmation, inbox me. I will send it to you, change a couple things. I took something I heard, changed it and switched it and made it my own. Take something, tell yourself a different story until you believe it. Read it every single day, over and over, out loud. Tell yourself out loud, say it with power and enthusiasm, and go out and create the life that you want, the life that you desire, the life that you are destined to. So with that, I'm going to turn the call over to whoever wants to share before we close this bad boy out. Don't everybody jump out at once.
Hey, it's Andrew here.
Go ahead, brother.
Okay. Hey guys, calling from Australia. We had the great pleasure of having brilliant affiliates coming from the States and Canada. We had Mike and Cassandra, and we had Kim and Sean come out to Australia. Now, this was life-changing for us in Australia. The fact that we haven't had a product for a while, and everyone was, some people were going, no, 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 no. But guess what? Saturday made us listen to stories, testimonials, and regroup and actually understand what the company and what you guys in the States and North America are doing. And it was in layman's terms and straightforward, and we went, yes. And then we sat and we talked to each other in regards to our stories, and it just reaffirmed what we need to do and keep in there. And as you said, we are going to be the best. And thank you very much, Chris, for the fact that you said that you're going to work harder, and so are we, because this product is incredible. What it does for people, as Bob said, it's creating happiness. We have a family, we have a village, we have a community, we are together. And it's not about making money, it's about creating a sense of self-worth, and also spreading the news. And as far as I'm concerned, we were so blessed that the company in Texas sent these 4 individuals out to Australia as a small company, so a small, situation in Australia, and you've given us so much help and so much hope, and we are going to prove ourselves tenfold to all of you guys and vice versa. So thank you very, very much for the introduction that I had for this company. I love it. And when our formulation is released in Australia and New Zealand, we are going to go gangbusters, and we will prove to all of you guys that we are up there with you guys in North America and the rest of the world. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you so much, Andrew. If y'all are watching the messages, Ricky is basically sharing the Hope Workshop that's going to be this weekend with Les Brown. It's going to be absolutely amazing. If you can make it there, if you have people in Florida, you're going to want to get them to that Hope Workshop. And it's
where in Florida is it?
Elevate. Fort Lauderdale, Hollywood, Florida is where it's going to be. There's a flyer. Is it on, Ricky, is it on events?
Yeah, it's posted back there, Chris. And that's this weekend. Next month, April 6th, is Branson, Missouri. And then May 4th, we're headed to Ottawa, Canada. So if you have any contacts in Ottawa or in Canada, we're going to be in Canada. That's going to be our first workshop in Canada. So look forward to seeing everybody at those workshops.
Awesome. Tony, anything you wanted to share? You always share the insight. You were giving me some good stuff even at the wedding the other night. Guys, there's so many people in this team that inspire me on a daily basis. Tony is one of them, superstar. Amazing things happen, just totally rocking it out in her business. And I'm putting her on the spot right now.
You do that well, Chris. But I appreciate it just the same. No, not really. Like, you guys dropped some valuable nuggets here. It's true. You know, we're all responsible for our very own actions that we take every day in our business. Just know that. I will share this really quick. When I joined last year in January. So I'm a little over a year in, but I really didn't start working my business until March. And it was with the first convention that I attended, and attending that convention and being in the presence of the leadership and hearing how we're different. Like, we all know, like you hear it and it sounds so cliche, but truly we are different here. And I saw that there, and I knew that we had our hands on something truly special. And I left that convention with my mind made up that this is what this was something that I was going to do. I'd heard so many times before about 90-day runs and 90-day commitments, and I never committed to anything like that, but I wanted to do that because I wanted to truly give this all that I had. And I left that convention with the fire in me and knew that I wanted to do everything that I could to make this work, and truly committed to just doing a few simple things every day for those 60 to 90 days. And I can tell you that made all the difference in the world for me. So if you're one that's maybe just getting in here and getting your business going, or maybe you've been in here for over a year like we have, and you're just looking, trying to figure out what can I do, I don't mind sharing, and I'll share it again in Team Rise. There's a daily checklist that brought me through that time and brought me from bronze to diamond in just a few months. And it was because of the massive action that I took every single day with just doing a few simple steps a day. But the bottom line is a commitment, and you have to do a little bit every day. I heard the most valuable piece of information this morning from one of our Keith Yarbrough. Actually, he was a guest on one of our calls, and he said this morning, we need to say less to more people. And that's what we need to do, guys. You need to pique their interest and send them, like Bob shared. For those of you, and I don't know if I didn't even hear you mention it, Bob, what's the generic link that you've created that we all can use?
Is it still a happy dose? Is that still there, Chris?
ahappydose.com. Guys, that's been phenomenal. If you hadn't bought into one of the funnel links that he shares in the Team Rise group,
I forgot all about that. I'm going to go revamp that too. ahappydose.com. I forgot all about it.
ahappydose.com, guys. It's a great third-party tool, validation tool that you can use. Pique their interest, send them that information, and follow up. If you will talk to just a certain number of people a day, Team Rise community, that's a fantastic group, and it's a powerful tool that we have as a team. Plug your people into that. If you don't have your own, some teams have their own private support groups, but if you don't have one, Team Rise has one, and it's phenomenal. It's a place to put your people into. Once you plant that seed, get them in there, and that group does the work for you. Do your follow-up, and that's it. But I'm going to share that. I'm going to share that daily action steps, because a lot of times people come into this, especially if you've never done something like this before, you're really not doing nothing because you just don't know what to do. But if you had a few steps a day that you could do every day and do it with intention, you're going to see a shift in your business for sure. That's what I have to say, Chris.
Boom. Thank you so much, guys. I think we'll close it out with that. Ricky, anything else you want to add before we close out?
Yeah, Chris. So tonight I'll be up for a little while. We're actually going to make a page. I was talking to Bob about this, and this is going to take a team effort, guys. What we're going to do is this page is going to be strictly for testimonial videos for people to go watch. Okay, so as you're talking to people out there, you know, and they want to hear some testimonials on their products, that's what this page is going to be. There ain't going to be no commenting or anything like that in there. It's just going to be testimonial videos that people are going to send to us, and we're going to post on this group to make our job a lot easier. So hopefully you guys like that.
Awesome. Awesome, guys. Well, great call tonight, and appreciate everyone that added value. Guys, to let y'all know, I'm going to go live probably in about 5-10 minutes, and I'm going to be talking about some of the challenges of network marketing, like what's wrong with the industry. And I'm not going to be talking about our company, but I'm going to be talking about what is right about our company, just to keep it generic. But it's going to be a mindset deal, but it's also going to be talking about, you know, what's the problem with the industry? And then you will realize what's so right about us. So I'm going to be going live in about 5 to 10 minutes if y'all want to jump on and support that. But with that being said, guys, this call will be up on zoomreplay.com. I'll have it posted a little bit later tonight as soon as it downloads, and then I'll have to upload it. So it'll take probably about an hour, zoomreplay.com, where all of our trainings are posted. Thank you for jumping on the call, and thank you for all the support and everything that you all do, because without everyone, none of this works. I mean, it's really about everything. You heard Tony talk about a large group of people doing a little bit. That's what it's about. It's about getting a whole bunch of people to do a little bit consistently over and over and over. So everyone have an awesome night. Take care. I'll unmute everyone, and you can say goodnight.
Thank you.
Good night, everyone.
Bye.
Have a good one. Have a good one.
Thank
Good
you.
night,
Thank you so much for
everyone.
everything.
Good night.
Bye.
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 Bye.